The goal of today's presentation, Generational Awareness, is to increase awareness of the characteristics of the various generations in our membership and use that information to help improve leadership and membership recruitment, retention, and involvement. After seeing this webinar, you should understand and appreciate the different characteristics of the generations that are currently members of the DAR, understand the impact of generational differences in your meetings, and gain insight on how to engage each generation. In the next 30 to 40 minutes, we will review key traits of the members of today's DAR, unfortunate chapter scenarios, the defining of generations, and how to build successful multi-generational chapters. An English family doctor named Ronald Gibson began a lecture on generational conflict, citing a couple of sentences. Perhaps you can relate. Our youth now love luxury. They have bad manners, contempt for authority. They show disrespect for their elders and love chatter in place of exercise. They no longer rise when elders enter the room. They contradict their parents, chatter before company, gobble up their food, and tyrannize their teachers. The second one, this youth is spoiled to the depths of the heart. Young people are criminals and idlers. They never be as young as before. The youth of today will not be able to maintain our culture. The first statement was from Socrates. The second was written in a clay vase found in the ruins of Babylon, modern Baghdad, and more than 4,000 years old. Conflicts of generation are nothing new. We just need to be aware, understand, and offer solutions so that each generation can provide value to your chapter. We hope that after viewing this webinar, you will be more aware, understand, and be able to grow your chapters. Why are generations important to DAR? Different viewpoints from DAR members create opinions and diversity, which can create innovation and excitement if managed positively. If not managed positively, different viewpoints based on multi-generations can turn negative, which result in misunderstandings, poor communication, silos, and conflict within our chapters, state, and national society. Today's DAR focuses on gaining new members of all ages, especially our younger generation. Many of our members are retirees, but we have many members that have one or more of these roles: working professionals, mothers, caregivers, stay-at-home moms, and students. Chapters are realizing that all generations have many strengths, skills, and experience in which they can apply to DAR. In fact, our chapters, states, and the National Society are strategically being more active in recruiting new members of all ages and asking our members to volunteer and take leadership positions for the various committees and chapter offices. We are seeing the benefits slowly, and we are gaining new members. In the past 4 years, we have seen a net increase in membership nearly every year. Is your chapter today's DAR? Do you know your members, their skills and talents? Do you know how your members want to help? Have you asked your members to volunteer? Do you know how your chapter is recruiting members? How are you involving your junior members? Sometimes it's difficult to move to today's DAR as we encounter unfortunate outcomes. Let's take 3 scenarios. The first one chapter recruits 7 new juniors who become members. The junior members want to get involved and suggest improvements or other ways of doing things. However, they are told, "No, we always do it this way," or they are ignored. After a year, the new juniors stop attending meetings and eventually drop their membership. In this first scenario, we see that enthusiastic juniors are recommending changes to the chapter, but are being ignored. Change to some is resisted or risky, and to others, change is good. Is your chapter open to change? The Wright administration has two phrases that you will never hear. We've never done it that way, and we've always done it that way. President General Wright continues, quote, "While we may continue a process, it will be because it is the right or best way to do it. While we may develop new or alternative processes, it will be because it is for the good of the organization. All decisions will be made considering what is best for the entire national society. Will we always agree? Probably not. However, if we can always come to the common ground, the truth, the space formed where the three circles intersect, agreement can occur and our work can proceed." Another unfortunate outcome is when a junior member is invited to a chapter meeting. She meets the members and the members are excited about the perspective. Her application is submitted and accepted, but the junior member never attends another meeting. In this scenario, we see that a perspective becomes a junior member, but then we never see her again. It might be that her relative did her papers and paid her dues, or the junior might be in college. But do we really know why the member joined DAR? The membership committee states on their website, "People join organizations for a host of reasons. Some join because they are motivated to work on a common task or towards a common goal. Others are motivated by interpersonal relationships with group members with similar backgrounds or interests. Remember that the new member who just joined the DAR may not have joined for the same reason you did, so her interest in DAR might be quite different. When she joins, we should consider asking her why she joined and what interests her." Another unfortunate scenario. A chapter recruits 15 new members, and the new members are more technology savvy. They have ideas about doing things faster and easier, such as using Skype for meetings, email for meeting notices, and Twitter for reminders. Basically, doing things completely different than the way the chapter was used to. The outcome? The existing members transferred or stopped attending meetings. This scenario is about too many changes at once. How does your chapter react to small and large changes? Ken Blanchard, an expert on leading change, writes, "People cannot handle too many changes at once, or large changes in one dose. Many changes that chapters initiate probably all make good sense, but put them all together at the same time, and members can become overwhelmed and they stop participating." Each generation is defined by demographics, the media, pop culture, and market research. Generations are shaped by shared childhood experiences and then defined by early adulthood actions. Specific cultural impacts vary by geography, but the resulting traits are similar. Ranges of dates may vary, and most people overlap and fit into at least 2 generations. There are no good traits or bad traits, only different ones. There are multiple terms to define each generation, and we will use these in our presentation. Traditionalists, also known by the greatest generation. We will use baby boomers, also known as yuppie generation. There's Generation X, known as baby busters, and the millennials, also known as Gen Y or internet babies. The traditionalist generation not only survived the Great Depression of the 1930s, but was instrumental in shaping the United States as an economic and military power, especially during World War II. They preferred chain of command structure. Patriotism, loyalty, discipline, and doing more with less very much define this generation. DAR members of this generation are typically the builders of our current chapters. They are the ones we go to for knowledge of DAR. They are devoted individuals who are quick to volunteer. However, this hierarchical system did not work for the baby boomers generation. These individuals, born between 1943 and 1964, challenged the systems. These individuals have passion for personal and social improvement, and their volunteer work meant they wanted to make a difference in society. But events like Vietnam, the assassinations of the Kennedys and Martin Luther King, and Watergate changed their perception, and these individuals started to have doubts, all of the while they were raising Generation X. The approximate ages of baby boomers are between 48 and 69. The average age in DAR is about 61. Members from this generation are typically the leaders of the chapter and main contributors in our DAR chapters right now. These members with a strong work ethic want to make a difference in their chapters and in their communities. Generation X experienced a childhood of uncertainty as they saw corporate downsizing, the oil energy crisis, the savings and loan crisis, and the space shuttle disaster. Generation X were also called latchkey kids, who took care of themselves after school because his or her parent or parents were away at work. Generation X is highly educated, self-reliant, independent, and they seek balance and diversity. DAR members of Generation X are typically the experienced juniors and those also approaching 50 years of age. They are working professionals, stay-at-home moms, students, and spouses. Generation X DAR members enjoy improving processes and aspire achieving a balance between work, families, DAR, and other civic and religious organizations. These DAR members are working across the DAR spectrum in chapters, states, and the National Society as contributors and leaders. The millennial generation is also called Generation Y, as they have a firm desire to know the reason behind what is happening and what they do. They want to affect change and make an impact. They were shaped by computers, school violence, especially Columbine, the Oklahoma City bombing, multiculturalism, and 9/11. They are highly tolerant, can multitask well, and express themselves rather than defining themselves through work. They are techno-savvy, sociable, and global thinkers. DAR women in this generation are in their late teens to early 30s. These young juniors or CAR members are typically in school or college, and they might be in their first jobs or have started families. DAR members from this generation are the ones that are most looking forward to a new today's DAR. This slide represents another summary view of all the generations and their characteristics, core values, patterns, and motivation. From a disciplined traditionalist to a confident millennial, from a baby boomer's optimism to a Generation X flexibility. There are many other personal and lifestyle characteristics that are different, interesting, and valuable to understand. Knowing these differences is important as it will help you communicate with and motivate each member of your chapter. Each generation is different, but DAR members also have many similarities. We have a genealogical connection to a revolutionary patriot. We are involved in meaningful service projects throughout our communities. We want to learn more about DAR and may be interested in an office or a committee. We have personal strengths that can be used in chapter activities. We are inspired and enjoy giving students awards and scholarships. We support and care for our military men and women who serve our nation. We desire to feel valued and needed. We want to contribute to our chapter, and we cherish lifelong relationships and friendships. Now that you have a basic understanding of each generation, consider using this knowledge when you recruit, involve, and educate new members. When you plan meetings, for example, times, places, programs, and content. Use this knowledge when you communicate. Determine chapter goals and chapter projects. Seek new ideas and changes for your chapter, or question the actions, thoughts of the chapter members. Use this knowledge to identify and develop members with the potential to fill committee and leadership positions. The only way to build a successful chapter is to build a successful multi-generational chapter. And the key to building bridges among the generations are sharing perspectives, communicating openly, spending quality time together, listening, being honest, showing mutual respect, and valuing one another. Here are 10 ideas and strategies to build a successful multi-generational chapter. Chapter leadership should offer meeting choices. Gen X and the millennials may need meeting flexibility. Consider offering different times and dates for various programs and meetings. Talk to them about when they can and cannot attend. Traditionalists and boomers may not need as many choices, but involve them and offer them options as well. Number 2, mix up your programs. All generations like to learn. Have programs that reflect their generation. One program might reflect women in World War II, where another generation might be interested in current and successful women. Number 3, chapter leadership should create dynamic meetings and streamline the chapter meetings. Make sure they are efficient and meaningful. If a working professional, mother, or student is taking the time to attend the meeting, you should take the time to plan your meeting so that it doesn't run over. Number 4, encourage mentoring and teamwork. Members have different perspectives, and all leaders and members should respect that they each have a different view of the world. Leaders should encourage different generations to work on projects and committees together to build relationships. Number 5, chapter leadership should know their leadership style and be able to communicate to each generation. Leaders are encouraged to evolve and grow with their chapters. Be creative in how you communicate your wants. You might have to communicate differently to each officer and chairman about your chapter's vision and specific goals. You might have to ask for their help in different ways. Respect their style and see how they accomplish the work. If appropriate, give them feedback and reward or recognize them for their efforts. Number 6, improve member retention. Offer your experienced members a different committee, especially if they've been doing the same committee for a while. And if you haven't seen members at a meeting, call them and see how they are doing. Find out if they are interested in helping with an activity or committee. Let them know the chapter misses them, and if they are able, encourage them to be more active.
Number 7, provide recognition. Here are some ways to reward or recognize your chapter members for their volunteer efforts. For traditionalists, consider placing a donation in their honor or present their years of service certificate at a meeting. Let them know their experience is respected. For boomers, highlight them in newsletters or provide a verbal recognition in front of others. Let them know they are valued. For Generation X, offer to be a reference or write a public acknowledgement on their LinkedIn account. Let them know they are appreciated. And for millennials, offer a verbal or written thank you or provide a gift card. Let them know their work is well regarded.
Number 8, bloom your boomers. Boomers have a very good track record of volunteering. Chapter leadership should consider recruiting the help of these members, as they may also bring other experiences. Some are now coming up on retirement or have already retired. Many are and have been leaders in their careers. They might have more time for a chapter officer or being more involved with genealogy, fundraising, or membership activities. Ask these members about their interests to find out exactly what they want. They might want a small volunteer part or something more challenging. They might enjoy co-chairing a committee or enjoy mentoring new members. Number 9, excite the Xers. Many in this generation are in professional jobs and climbing corporate ladders, but work very hard to balance work, families, and other personal commitments. Chapter leadership should consider scheduling meetings that fit the times of this generation or that would involve their families. Chapter leadership could give them a DAR activity that will allow these members to do it their way. Perhaps they could write an article, present a program, or organize an event. As this generation as a whole in this country focuses nearly 39% of their volunteer time to education, consider asking these members if they would be interested in co-chairing a committee that emphasizes education, such as DAR Scholarship, DAR Good Citizens, or Community Service. And number 10, try the Ys. These volunteers divide their time among many groups and use technology as a part of their everyday lives. Chapter leadership should consider scheduling one or more chapter meetings that fit their schedule as this generation divides their time among many groups. Making sure to use email or other updated forms of communication to gain this generation's attention, as they use technology as a part of their everyday lives. Chapter leadership should consider asking this generation for their ideas and their help to grow the chapter through technology, perhaps creating websites, yearbooks, or using Facebook. Chapter leadership should invite juniors or prospective juniors to a meeting and encourage them to bring a friend, as this generation likes to be with their friends. Now let's look at a fortunate scenario and outcome. A prospective junior and her mother are invited to a chapter meeting. Members are excited about the perspectives. They submit their application, and the prospectives become new members. The junior is unable to meet during a particular date and time because her college is in another town. The chapter officers ask the junior member if she would like to volunteer for a committee that could be done remotely, as an example, maintaining their website. The chapter officers ask the mother if she would help with a veterans event or another upcoming event that she might have interest. The junior members suggest some programs on women's issues. The chapter's meeting schedule is already in place, but the chapter officers decide to hold their last meeting on a weekend, as the junior will be home and would be able to give a program on women's issues. Successful chapters are today's DAR. Chapters are realizing obtaining members is important, and earning their long-term commitment and involvement takes time, understanding, and work. The chapters should work together with each generation to move today's DAR forward into the next generation. Thank you for attending the DAR Generational Awareness webinar. With this webinar, we hope that we have given you basic information to help you appreciate the different characteristics of the generations that are currently members of the DAR, to understand the impact of generational differences in your meetings, and gain insight on how to engage each generation in your chapter activities. Please remember that many people can cross generations and have different beliefs, and that generations don't define a person or their personality. There has been a lot of research on generations and their impact in the workplace and the communities. A list of references is included for your information. Feel free to do your own research on the internet. I would also like to thank Saren Roach and Susan Gillette-Meir for their input and guidance to this webinar. If you have any questions, please contact me at leadershiptraining@dar.org.